Alright guys, welcome to my tutorial on how to make a crowbar door in Amnesia for your custom stories. I'm gonna start the video with a preview of how the tutorial is going to end up so that you can see if this is what you're looking for. So yeah, enjoy! Alright, so let's do this. If there are any files that I have that you do not have, you will find them as a download in my part 1 of the series, just in case. And also just want to say that this is done on a Mac, but if you're using a Windows computer it should still apply. It doesn't make any difference because the scripting is the same and you use the same level editor. Just use a different text editor for your scripting, like Notepad++ or so. Anyway, let's start with adding everything we need to the level, and then we can go over to the scripting. Alright, just open your level editor. I'm just going to open up the map that I have right here because it has the foundations of a map, not just, well, as you can see it's just a room, an empty room, so it's going to be easier to just place everything. So yeah, let's just make everything we need. I have the spawn point right there, by the way. Let's go to static objects and find the walls. Mansion base. Why do I always forget this? Where is it? Default one. Alright, actually we need the door frame. Doorway, this one, yeah. So we place that one in the middle, about here I suppose, and we make a duplicate the other way. There. So it'll be like that, and we'll put a door frame in the middle, so it's like that. Oh, actually this one is a bit, unless everything, I think everything is tilted. Alright. Anyway, you get the idea. Maybe I'm not even gonna make any more than this. We have this. We have the walls. So now let's go into the entities and find the things that we're actually going to use. I'm gonna find a mansion door, this one, and let's just zoom in here and place it in there, just like it would with a normal door. But also select it afterwards and name it something. I'm just gonna name it simply door. So it's a lot easier to remember, because you need to remember this door name of this entity because you're going to make an action with it, of course. So yeah, that's later for the scripting though. And also we're going to need a few areas, and I'll explain what these do. The first area we want, I'm just going to click here, select it and drag it up. It's going to be the area where the crowbar, which is going to be here, when this crowbar is like pulled or in this direction and it will enter this area, that's when the door is going to break open. So let's name this area break. And yeah, so I'm going to resize a little smaller. It doesn't need to be that big. Just make sure that the crowbar collides with it. It needs to be like around here or something, approximately. And also we're going to need another area. I'm just going to duplicate this, Control D. Oh, Control F accidentally. I did duplicate it though. And now we have another area. This is going to be the area where the particles are placed once the door breaks open. So you don't, it's not the most important one, but it makes a nice effect. So you want to place this on the actual hatch or the area where the crowbar is placed. So as you can see, I have these two areas, and I'm going to name it area effect. And I'm going to select away, and you can see we have one area there, and a door. And just to get it done, let's open the item tab right here and go down to crowbar. There are many there are like 4 different crowbars here. The one with nothing, no extension name or anything, this is the actual item that you pick up, so just place it on the floor. This is the thing you're gonna pick up. The other things, the dynamic din one and the broken one are pretty much the same, except the broken one is 2 pieces. These are just what do you compare with, like say a broom. You can pick up a broom, like you can't really pick it up in your inventory, but you can pick it up and toss it around. And these are just the same. You can the dynamic one is still a hole, and you can pick it up and throw it around the room. The broken one is broken into 2 pieces. I'm gonna use the broken one, but you can choose to use the dynamic one. It doesn't make any difference. It's just what you want. You can even use the actual crowbar item if you want it to fall down and you'll be able to pick it up again into your inventory, that is. Anyway, we're going to need a joint. The joint is the thing that is used for actually it stays there and you're going to pull it. So this one is a bit different than the other things. These ones you can pick up and throw, these you can only pull or push or whatever. So this one is what we're going to need, and I'm just going to place it right there. It looks just like every other crowbar though, so don't confuse them. For this you're going to want to need put off the grid snapping to make it as precise as possible, and I'm going to rotate this about so, and we need to place it in the where you would normally place it. So it's going to be around, let's say, let's not stab the door, but it's going to be in the door. Let's put it in between the door, somewhere around there. Let's see how that is if I zoom in. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, so the crowbar is right there in between the door, and this is when you use the crowbar that you pick up here. When you use this on the door, this thing is going to appear and you'll be able to pull it into this area. So it's like pulling this way, and when it reaches here it's going to break up the door because it enters this area. So we need to name this. I'm going to call it joint. Of course, if you have several of these you would name them differently, but just to make it simple I'm going to name them pretty much what they are. Also remember to check off the active one, because it's not going to be there from the start. It's only going to appear once you use the crowbar in your inventory on the door. Alright, also let's do the next one, the broken one, or you could use the dynamic one. This thing needs to be in pretty much the same spot as this one, because once this one enters there it's going to be inactive and it's going to make this active, and this thing is going to fall down. Crap, there we go. It's going to fall down on the floor and stuff. So you don't really need to have it, but the more details, you know, it's nice with details. So the best way to make this the same location is to just look at the numbers here. This one is 3423. That's pretty easy to remember. 3423. Was it 423? And there we are. Now it's in the same location there on the x-axis or whatever, and the y 1.5. That's easy. 1.5. Enter. And the last one is 3958. 958. Like so. We still need to rotate it though, but you don't really need to rotate it according to this, like changing these, because it's not going to be the same rotation. You're going to want to rotate it because you're going to pull it this way and stuff, you know, so it's going to be more rotated than the other one, which also causes it to have to be pushed a little more in this direction. So it's about around here or so. It's still in the door and all. When I look through the door, it's still in the door, like that. It's still in the actual door item thingy. It's just more pushed to the right and rotated. And well, I suppose this is actually going to be in the actual area where it breaks, so around here. I'm not sure if the crowbar actually goes that far. Oh crap. Let's try this. Putting it there and let's push this. So you want the area to be just where it is, because as soon as the crowbar enters there, everything is going to happen at once. So the area as well as the crowbar is going to appear. This one needs to be inactive as well, and I'm just going to name it broken. And yeah, that's pretty much all you need in the level. Yeah, item, door, 2 areas, 2 crowbars. Without that, of course. And yeah, let's just save the map here. And let's go over to the scripting. One thing I actually forgot was to name the crowbar item, so I'm just going to name it Crowbar. Just showing that I did that so you wouldn't be confused or anything. Yeah. Now we can go do the scripting. Yeah. Alright, so let's open up our friendly neighbor, the engine scripts page, where we'll find all the engines and scripts and so also let's open the scripting file right here. I'll just put it right here. And we have void on start already. That's actually all we need. We won't need the leave and enter. We'll just need the on start. And so basically my script file is empty. First of all, we're going to need a few things. Let's open up, find the was it use item? Yeah. You search up this command, add use item callback, copy all the strings and everything except the void, and then we paste it in on start. I'm gonna do tab first though, so it looks a bit more proper. Add item use callback. String name. This is since it's a string, put double quotes on that one, and here it says what everything is. The internal name. This is the internal name of I think the event, so it doesn't actually need anything. It's just a reference if you're going to remove the callback later or something, but let's just put like anything in there, whatever. And next one is the item. So here we're going to put the crowbar, because you're going to use the crowbar and on this entity, which is the door. So since I named everything pretty much what they are, it's going to be a little easier to read the code. You're going to use the crowbar on the door. Actually, let's just remove this, it's unnecessary. Unnecessary. Alright, so once you use the crowbar on the door, this function is going to be called. And let's call this function use crowbar on door. That's simple. So it's easier to read it should you ever return to it later on. And this is a boolean, either true or false, and auto destroy. It determines whether the item is destroyed when used. So I guess you could put just true on this. I think it will just remove the item you used. Once you, like the crowbar you used on the door, would be removed. And we'll need one more function on start, and that's pretty much all. We're going to need the collide function, the add entity collide callback. Let's just copy that and put it right there. Let's put the tab in front. And the parent name, let's see, the crowbar, well actually the joint part of the crowbar, which is in the door, when that thing collides with the area, which is area break, it's going to call the function, let's call it break door or whatever. And boolean delete on collide, true, because it's only going to happen once. And int all states 1, because it's going to happen once it enters. And that's all we need on start. So now let's make our own functions for what we have defined up here. And I suppose I could explain that in case you didn't catch it. The name in this one, which is crowbar, must be the same as the actual item that you pick up, and the door needs to be the internal name of the actual entity of the door. And same with the crowbar joint right here, which is called joint, and the area. So area break. That's why I put that there. So it's not just random things. It must match. So yeah. Anyway, let's put that away, and let's make the first do like void and entity collide. Let's do the other one first. Let's go back to use item, and we'll need this part right here. You can just copy actually the whole line if you like, and just instead of writing it, just writing like there, and you replace my function with the item function that you called, which is use crowbar on door, like that, which is this one. So yeah, these must match then, and then we can open and close the block, and then we can put some crap in there. It's gonna be a little this is one of the functions we defined up here. We're gonna also make the other one a little later, because because we don't need it yet. It happens later in the in the sequence of events that's gonna happen when the crowbar, when everything happens there. You know, it's not all gonna happen at once. It's gonna be like use item, pull the crowbar, break the door and shit. So yeah. So yeah, let's continue.